And we are live on the United Public Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM New Orleans, 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast, and we're being live streamed wherever podcasts live. So we're not hard to find, including my YouTube channel. So go there and subscribe. This podcast, our guarantee is you will never look at the paranormal the same again. To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps, fellow experiencers, and brothers and sisters in Christ, welcome. This is Father Shawn's Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Father Shawn Whittington. I'm an ordained Catholic priest with the United States Old Catholic Church. I'm the abbot and fully professed brother with the Old Catholic Benedictines of Immaculate Mary. I am the co-founder of GhostBegone.biz, and yeah, I'm that guy on Eli Roth Presents The Legion of Exorcists, which premiered on Travel Channel HBO Max and is currently streaming everywhere if you haven't caught it. If you want to know anything about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone. And if you go there to visit, there's a lot of cool things to see. All my books are there. Buy a book. Nobody's reading anymore. Buy a book. All three of my books are there. And if you buy them off of the website, they leave my office here. I autograph them, and they arrive to you in a beautiful house blessing kit. And you never know when one of those is going to come in handy. But another beautiful thing about purchasing them off of the website is that part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my books goes to support St. Jude and the ASPCA. So you get to help some of the neediest children on the planet and the animals too. How cool is that? There's a place where you can make an appointment on the website to speak with me about your spiritual issues. And there's also my online course that you can enroll in on the website, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare. It's a 12-week online college level course suited for all you true warriors for Christ that want to learn how to draw your line in the sand, circle the wagons, put up a good fight, perhaps the fight of your life, against true evil if it ever comes calling. That's the course for you. And what else do I want to tell you guys? You can get my books a little less expensive at Amazon, and I appreciate all the support from everybody. So God bless you all for tuning in, because I don't have a show without you guys. So thank you very much. And keep the prayers coming for my wife. She's going through a really tough time right now. And God bless you all for all the prayers and the support there. My guest today, what can I say about my guest today? It feels like I've known him forever. We feel like brothers with different mothers. And he's just a super cool dude. And who knows what we're going to talk about. It's going to be under the paranormal, I think, umbrella, but it can go anywhere with this guy. You know that. You all love him. You all know him. He's the host of the Minor Details, the Danny Minor podcast, the show Wanted, Danny You're Alive. That's not a real show, but it should be. So here we go, guys. Buckle up. Please give a big, warm Paranormal Ministry family welcome to my friend, Danny Minor.
Father Shawn, thanks for having me. And I should come with a warning label. You know me, right? And I realize we're on radio, so I'm going to keep this nice and calm, Father. Okay, so I realize that, but I should come with a warning label because you never know what I'm going to say. And I'm not afraid to say anything.
I know that. And you're welcome to say anything you want to say. I'll tell you what, there was a day when I first started this show. Well, actually, we went through a weird period after being on air for a few years. We went through a few years there where it's like if you did say anything too weird, they would just take it down. Like YouTube would take it down. They're going to probably get mad at me now. But it's
Right.
like, especially during like COVID time, like if you said anything, got too super into the conspiracy theories or said anything too controversial, your show just was taken down. So I think we've gotten through that. So feel free to just be you. I watched one of your podcast episodes the other day, and you know what you should do in the you know what you should do in the beginning of your intro? There should be
What?
you should have it just inserted somewhere, just a small little vid clip. It had just a quick of Jack Nicholson running in the snow with the axe, going, "Danny."
That is a great idea. I never even thought of that. Thank you. I'm gonna do it. Hey, do you know? I'm glad you brought that up. I went to that hotel in Colorado. The one that I guess when he was the director or the producer of The Shining went to that hotel and it inspired him to do that. I can't think of the name of the hotel right now.
Um,
Oh my
oh, the
God, I can't.
Stanley. It's the Stanley.
Yes, I was
And
at the Stanley. And guys, they have a little maze in the front. Just a little maze. It's not as big as the one in the movie, but I was at the Stanley and supposedly that's haunted too, Father.
yeah, very much. They have some of the greatest uh, ghost hunts and paranormal tours of the hotel, and of course you can stay there. And then
Yeah,
there's the name escapes me at the moment, but um, there was another hotel. He filmed them at two different hotels. Like the interior was filmed
right,
at one hotel, which is also very haunted up in the mountains, and then he filmed many of the outside shots at the Stanley, or
right.
vice versa. I don't know which order that comes in. And then a lot of the interior studio was built at some studios in England, but.
Yeah.
One of my favorite all-time movies. That's a classic. But yeah, that's probably if I were to break out my um, must must go to list of alleged haunted locations. Somewhere on there on my list is the Stanley. I know that for a fact. I've been invited out there by people that live near there to come and stay with them and go with them and stay at the hotel. And I just haven't had the time or money, or things just didn't work out. I just couldn't get there. But yeah, that would be an awesome place to. Yeah, I mean you've been there, so you know.
Yeah, and you know what else? A lot of people don't realize this, and I didn't realize it until I was there. The movie Dumb and Dumber with Jim Carrey was filmed there also. Honestly, that movie was filmed there when they went to the ball and they went to that ballroom. That was all filmed right there at the Stanley. They have the pictures up. They show the areas where it all was filmed, but it's very impressive and it's very beautiful area. That is a gorgeous area. Colorado is a gorgeous state. Honestly, it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, brother, I'm going to give people give you a chance to. I mean, oh my gosh, you've got such a huge following, especially on TikTok, but everywhere. But so
Yeah.
I can't think of who doesn't know who you are. I'm going to give you a moment here to introduce yourself to the Paranormal Ministry family, and then I'm going to
Okay.
jump in after you and talk about how we met and some other ideas that have been that I
Okay.
think are you're going to be surprised that I'm going to bring up. So the floor is yours, brother.
All right. I'm Danny Miner. I'm from Pennsylvania originally. I was a cop for 27 years and I was a detective for 14. My last 3 years, I was in charge of our detective division. So I retired, decided to move out to Las Vegas because I love Vegas. I love the weather. I love playing poker. I know. I love playing poker. So that's another reason I came out here. I like playing in the World Series of Poker. But during the pandemic, guys, I was bored. Like everybody else, I was bored during the pandemic. And my daughter told me to download TikTok. And I decided to put a video out there. The video went viral, and I was born. I am now a content creator for the last 5 years. I have a 500,000 followers on TikTok. I have 160,000 followers on Facebook. I have 156,000 on Instagram. I have 6,800 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I've been on Paramount Plus Cyber Sleuths, all 3 episodes. I filmed 2 reality shows that never went anywhere, but I did film them. I've been in a movie and I've been in several documentaries over the last 5 years. True crime is my true passion, and I do politics also. But I'll be honest with you, my heart goes to paranormal all the time. If I had my choice, I would do paranormal full time. But people love my true crime, so I can't get away from it, Father.
Well, let's jump a little bit. We could go anywhere you want to go, but I'm gonna tell people now um, how we met. And how we met was a couple of people that a couple of mutual friends of ours that work for CBS here in Las Vegas just thought that you and I would hit it off and that we should meet, and we did. And we did hit it off, and I consider you a good friend. Um, we met for burgers at
Yeah.
a very popular bar and grill here in Vegas, and I don't remember if you had a laptop with you or it was your phone, but you showed me the sizzle reel or the a small pilot that you had filmed for a show uh, that I am just I'm surprised it's still hasn't quite yet made it to the screen. And this
These
show,
reality shows are tough, Father. They're
yeah,
tough to
they
get
are.
out there.
This show, and this is right at the time when Lake Mead had gone down about as far as it's ever gone in the history of the lake, and it was revealing all sorts of things that probably would have never seen the light of day ever again, or anyone would have known about it had the lake not dropped down so low in its water level. Mostly a lot of dead bodies. And
Yes.
that's not a surprise to anybody due to the history of this town. But you are investigating with I'm not going to mention his name, a well known I say former famous mobster here
Yeah.
in Vegas, but and I say former, who knows what he still does to make a living. We won't go there, but you and him would would investigate, would go around and investigate these the history, what may who
Yeah.
this person may have been, this dead body, and the
Yeah.
history, the murder, and whatever. I just I loved the sizzle reel that you showed me, and like I said, I keep my fingers crossed, and I occasionally say a little prayer that for you, that for your success, and that maybe that does make the light of day, because that was an excellent project that you had filmed. As far as you know, do you still dabble a little bit in what's? I mean, they're still finding stuff coming out of Lake Mead all the time.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, this lake is still down, and it's never going to get to where it was. Never, ever, ever. It's never coming back. This lake used to be filled to the brim, Father. If you would have seen pictures of what this lake used to look like to what it is now, it's night and day. I'm not kidding you. It's actually shocking how far it went down. But they're still as this lake goes down, the mysteries of this lake will start showing. Let's be honest here, guys. The mafia ran Las Vegas. The mafia made Las Vegas. It was started by the mafia. They thought, you know what? We'll start this city in the middle of the desert, and no one's going to care what we're doing. And that's how Vegas started, guys. You can sit there and think otherwise, but the truth is, the Vegas Mafia made this city. And a lot of people said this city was better when the Mafia ran it. I'm going to be honest.
Well, I got two quick little stories that have nothing to do with the paranormal that I'm going to share with you on that, and then we'll move off it before I end up getting a visit. But many years ago, when I was a young man, my father was the vice president for a large Korean electronics company in Los Angeles. And I
Okay.
forget what hotel it was. It might have been the Aladdin, but one famous casino hotel was up for sale. And this is right in the height of the mob running Vegas. And the president of that company, who was a Korean, took my father to for a meeting to this hotel because he was going to buy it. He had the money. He's a very rich Korean businessman. He was going to buy this hotel. So they were in this meeting waiting, to talk to the powers that be and make it go down. It was just about to sign on the dotted line and be a done deal. And my father says somebody came in the room and said to his boss, the president of the company, they had a very important phone call that he needed to take in another room. So the Korean businessman excused himself. He walked out, and everybody just kind of chilled for a little bit. He came back in the room not too long later, and my dad said he was white as a ghost. He looked a bit disheveled, and he just said, "Deals off, deals off, deals off." And they left. My dad was disappointed. He was making plans to move the whole family to Vegas. We were in
Right.
LA at the time. Many years later, my dad confided in me that his boss, the Korean president of this company, had confided in him and said that he was taken into this room where he was basically, it's like that old scene from The Godfather where make him an offer he can't refuse. Basically, it was something like that where they weren't going to allow him. He was either going to leave dead or alive, but he wasn't going to own the Aladdin or whatever hotel it was at the time because the mob wasn't going to let it happen. This was a Korean businessman. They
Right.
weren't. It wasn't going to happen. So that's that story. And but yeah, and I also the gentleman that you were going to film that you did film the sizzle reel with for this show that may you never know, keep your fingers crossed, may happen. He was an associate of the famous the ant.
Yes, yes.
Tony Spilatro. And I met Tony Spilatro once. This is many, 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 many years ago. I mean, this was another lifetime. People could look me up if you want. For probably 10, 15 years, I was a very popular um, and working street dancer, professional dancer, and in all through LA, danced for James Brown, danced for Ice T, was on
Wow.
in a couple of movies. You can look me up in Body Rock with Lorenzo Lamas, which is a
Are
terrible
you
movie.
serious?
Terrible movie, but
You never told me this. You're a dancer.
yeah.
I'm gonna make an AI photo of you dancing. I'm doing it, Father. I'm gonna go right on ChatGPT after this.
But I was out here one summer trying to get on with a show at the time at the Riviera called Splash. I don't know if Splash is still out there, but I came out here to audition for Splash. And during that time, me and some of my buddies that came with me and some of my buddies that were already living here in Vegas, we went to a nightclub on Harmon called the Shark Club. And here I am sitting at the bar with my buddies, and I'm looking over, and they stand out like a sore thumb because this it's like in the middle of a rave. You've got three well-dressed guys sitting at a little table right in the middle of the dance floor that nobody's messing with. They stand out like a sore thumb, and I just made a comment to one of my buddies, "Who's that guy? Is that guy somebody? Does he own this club?" And my guy said, "Don't keep staring over there and don't make a big deal about it. That's Tony Spilatro." I'm like, "Who's Tony Spilatro?" Well, I'm gonna get some calls from this, I know, but Tony Spilatro, he goes, he's the guy. He's the guy that fucking runs the town. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cuss, but I'm quoting what my friend said. He says, "Don't make a big deal about it. Quit staring." And so he go, "They call him the ant." I go, "They call him the ant?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Why do they call him the ant?" I'm hammered. This is back in my major alcoholic days, so I'm hammered. And my friend says, "Just don't make a big deal." But I'm telling you why I did this. I don't know, but I got up and I walked over there. The guy seemed nice enough. I walked over there and I said, "Mr. Spilatro." And he just looked at me and said, I held my hand out. "My name is Shawn Whittington, AKA Panda. I'm a street dancer here in town auditioning for Splash. And I heard you're someone that I should come and say hi to and shake hands with." Never put his hand out, never said he was Tony. He just kept staring. And all of a sudden, it was like, I kid you not, it was like the rave stopped and I was in like this tunnel with no air and no sound, staring in the eyes of a true killer.
Killer. Yes.
And then I look at the guys at the table next to him. I'm looking at the eyes of true killers. And when you look in the eyes of a true killer that you're looking in the eyes of a true killer. And I just froze. The next thing I know, oh, you know what the reason why I said to him, drunk, I go, "Why do they call you the ant?" Thinking that would get him to say something. I just kept putting my foot in my mouth and putting my foot anywhere else I could stick it in my body. And next thing you know, the guy starts cracking up. And then the guys next to him start cracking up. And he did shake my hand and he said, "Who you here with, kid?" And he looked over at my friends and my friends quickly turn away and they pretend like they don't even know me. He made some kind of gesture to the bartender and he said, "Get I'm getting ready to. I'm taking care of some business here, kid. Why don't you get back to your friends? But nice meeting you. Good luck to you. Hope you get the gig." Went back to my friends. They didn't even want to sit with me. The bartender walked over and said, "Anything you guys want, whether it be food or drinks, it's on Mr. Spilatro the rest of the night." Well, now my friends are scared, you know what, less, because they think, that's what the mob does. They wine and dine you before they whack you. So they don't even want to leave the bar. The party is over. Everybody's gone. We're still in there. The bouncers are telling us, guys, you got to leave. My friends don't even want to leave. Now listen, man, we'll walk out the front door, and it doesn't matter what's waiting for us. We just bolt right across the street to the Aladdin because it was just Harmon and then the parking lot for the Aladdin, and we'll get right in the Aladdin. We'll be okay. And we left, and nothing happened. But my friends, man, they were like, "How?" They couldn't believe that I did that and that I got away with that. But anything would you like to add about your friends' association with Spilatro?
Well, I can tell you this. First of all, I don't know if you know this. That casino that they ran in the movie Casino, right? That was actually where Resort World is now. Did you know that?
I did not.
If you walk in there, they actually have a sign of the old hotel that used to be there. So that's the hotel they ran where Resort World is now. Of course, Resort World was new. They built it new, but that's where that hotel was. But I can tell you this. I asked him, uh, Tony Spilotro, I always say his name wrong. He put a guy's head in a vice and popped the guy's eyes out. Okay?
They had that in
Just
the
so you
movie
know,
Casino. Yeah.
yes. And he did that. That's true. And what I heard about him through the grapevine of my investigation being on this reality show is they said he wouldn't hurt somebody just to hurt somebody. Okay. It was when they screwed the mob over or whatever. He wouldn't he wouldn't hurt you for coming over to the table. You know what I mean? They said he would only hurt somebody
I
if it
I
had to
don't
be
blame
done.
him. I don't blame him for looking at me for a few seconds like, is this freak? I had like a
Yeah.
mohawk at the time, and sleeves rolled up with all the tats showing, and so I can understand him just going, "Who's this freak?"
You know, they ended up killing him though. You know that, right?
Yeah, that
The mob
yeah,
the mob kills him.
yeah. Well,
So,
they had to, and it. A lot of people don't realize very few things they do is personal. It is always all business.
yeah.
I know they're sociopaths and they're killers, but you'll find very few things that they do that you and I wouldn't do. It's usually never personal. It's
No.
usually always business, and so yeah, that was the town has never been the same since, and I still think there is a lot of that still happening here.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but it's like a mixture now between organized crime and and um, corporations. Although there's a lot of corporations that are run like organized crime. So having if you want to be honest about that, but I'm going to have you back. I know you're a very political person, and my show's not. I do plan on it. So, what I want to do, you know me, I always try to make my guests and my friends welcome. I will have you back one day, and you know what we'll talk about? We'll talk about all of the most famous hauntings that are still occurring and people are reporting about in Washington, D.C. That will make a
Okay.
great show. That'll make a great show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I'm going to surprise you with something that I never talked to you about
Okay.
until right now. Now, you and I talked about that night that the guys from CBS introduced us. We talked about some ideas for shows and things that we wanted to do, and almost this topic I'm going to bring up is something that's been on my mind that I've um, wanted to do something with for a long time, and I didn't bring it up to you that night. And I talked about this location. Well, I planned on going to this location with um, this one person I know who's probably the most gifted psychic medium, God fearing psychic medium that I know. Her paranormal partner in crime happens to be an independent filmmaker. Um, he's on the fence. He's not a skeptic. He's not a believer. He's ready to believe, but he's also a tech guru. All got all the cameras and the gadgets and the paranormal tech guru. And then, of course, there'd be an open invitation for Annette to come along if she wants to come along. That's just one more person to sit in on the seance. I would be present as an observer and possibly to do an exorcism on the property and the location and help any way I can, but basically to be an observer because I can't, as a priest, I can't take part in the seance, but you'd have this psychic doing the seance, Annette, who brings good, positive prayer warrior vibes and is into the paranormal, and then the tech guru, filmmaker guy, and then the only piece that was missing would be an actual detective, and it wouldn't matter if the detective was a believer or not. But um, and when I met you that night, all of this ran past me, and I'm like, I have to talk to him one day about this because he's the missing piece. Now, isn't it funny that not too long later you reached out to me one day and said, "You and I got to take a road trip." And I'm like, "Where to?" There's this house in the Midwest where the whole family was killed by an axe murderer and it was never solved. We got to go there. And I knew right there that it was meant to be because I hadn't mentioned it to you and we're talking about the Villisca axe murder house. So now I'm
Yes.
just going to throw it over to you because uh, that would be a great project and it's in the works. I
How
don't
could we
know.
do it? Let's do it. I'm all in. We should get a date and we should just focus on that date and do it. We really should.
Well, I'll tell you right now. Well, you can go there. Like I said, you can pay.
It's in Iowa. Yeah.
Yeah, to pay to spend a night or 2 nights or a weekend there. So it wouldn't be a problem with us um, paying.
And Father, I think I remember looking here. We can pay that we could be the only one in the house. I think it's $600 and we could have the whole entire house, which would
Yeah,
be good if we had the whole entire house, because then your tech guy could set everything up and it would be perfect.
I have to make sure there's electricity in the house. I know that. I don't know if there's any electricity in the house. There's like a barn or or a garage next to it that has electricity and running water and a bathroom and you can go in there and do whatever you need to do. But I don't know in the actual house. Of course it would be easy for my tech guy to run electricity into the place for his equipment. I
Yeah.
don't know if the house actually has AC or heat or electricity or running water. I'm not sure. I have to research that. If that's the case, we definitely don't want to go in the middle of summer and we don't want to go in the middle of winter. But
Yeah.
we could come up with a date that would work for the five
All
of
of
us
us.
and just make it a road trip and just do it. And probably my friend could probably put together an awesome hour and a half um, film that I could end up showing as a premiere of an episode of this show or even your show, however we want to work it. But that would be a great project. What's your feelings? I have so many mixed feelings about that house. I mean, here you've got this family.
I have
Uh,
it up right now. That's what I'm looking at right
well,
now.
you've got this family of six
Yep.
and two other young girls who were friends of the family on a sleepover there, and they're murdered in the middle of the night. Um, what I find interesting about the murders, so this guy comes into the house. No one, I don't know if they knew he was in the house or not, but he makes his way upstairs, murders the parents first, murders the four children, goes downstairs, murders the two girls on the sleepover. Then he actually goes back upstairs and continues to mutilate the bodies of the family that he already murdered, covers them all up, covers their faces up, goes back downstairs, continues to mutilate the sleepover girls, covers their faces up, covers all the mirrors up, which is interesting, closes all the blinds. Then the man or woman makes himself a meal in the kitchen and sits down and has this meal. And then after he has the meal, then he leaves and locks the door behind him. So we do know that between, and I forget the exact date of this, but a couple of years before the date of the murders, there is a string of unsolved Midwest axe murders going on. And then for several years, I can't talk today, several years after the Villisca murders, there's several more documented Midwest unsolved axe murderers. So then you get all these guys that were maybe not charged, but accused of, maybe charged, courts, you know, jury trials, all this other stuff, all these theories. But the thing that jumps out at me, and I'm pretty sensitive to this stuff, and there's lots of books out there that people can get and read. But of all the people, and I know a lot of people think the crazy, not sociopath, but he was diagnosed schizophrenic reverend. They accused him. They could never prove nothing. Um, the guy the father of the family who was murdered, he had an arch nemesis, a gentleman who owned the only hardware store in town. He worked for him, but then behind his back struck a deal with deer and opened up a warehouse a deer shop right across the street from the dude's hardware store. So there was a lot of hard feelings there. The original owner of the original hardware store, who was his former boss, hard feelings there, and he was involved in politics of the town. So people thought revenge murder. Here's the thing: revenge murder, in my opinion, the guy doesn't. The guy just it's a hit job on the dude. He doesn't massacre the whole family. And then the Reverend, like I said, they couldn't prove nothing. But now you have this string of axe murders unsolved in throughout the Midwest, and the common denominator was they were all so similar in what took place. And something else was there was a railroad that traveled through all these same towns. And it's interesting how many people that have investigated this house report sometimes being in this house for hours and nothing happens, no matter how much they try to provoke or how much they try to show respect and get some type of act. Sometimes the evenings are dead until one thing happens. The 2 a.m. train whistle of the train that comes through there every night at 2 a.m. When it comes through and blows that whistle, activity starts spiking in the home. And many, many investigators have reported that, and I've also talked to that have experienced that at the same time every night, 2 a.m. when that 2 a.m. train comes through the town. And so I think mass some type of serial killer, because a sociopath is different than someone with schizophrenia. And to have somebody a sociopath and an experienced, crazed, if you will, psychopath, mass murderer, that's that MO there. To how to get trained to get into the house undetected, murder the family, kids too, go downstairs, murder the other two little girls, go back upstairs, continue to mutilate the family members, come downstairs, continue to mutilate the other dead little girls, go back upstairs, calmly cover the faces of all the victims, cover the mirrors, close the blinds, make a meal, sit down, enjoy a meal, and then calmly leave and lock the door behind you, and then gone without a trace. That's like serial killer stuff. So now I'll shut up because I'm not the expert. You're the detective.
Listen, and just so everybody knows, this man was never caught, right? He was never caught. So nobody was ever
No.
charged with this. Nobody was ever. I think this is like the perfect house to do this. Now I looked, we're gonna have to fly because it's too far of a drive. I mean, we could drive, but we could make it fun. We could stop at other haunted locations on the way. We could do something like that. But we'll have to decide what we're gonna do. But flying's probably the best thing, honestly, because it is kind of far. But maybe spend a day there, set up, and stream live for 24 hours. Like I
That's
will have
really
it
good.
streaming for 24 hours.
That's a great idea. In addition to my friend who would probably make one darn good film of it that he could edit and then it ends up airing later. Uh,
Yeah.
we do a live stream. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah. And I mean, with my followers, we'll get a lot of people to watch, which is good. You know, especially if we stream live from TikTok, Instagram. And we could do that. What we could do is we could stream either from Twitch or Rumble because they will send it to all the other platforms. You know what I mean? Them streaming services like Twitch and Rumble, you can go on there and they'll stream it to YouTube, TikTok, all of them. So they're one-stop shop. So that's something we could do.
Absolutely. And then we would have plenty of time ahead of time to do even to delve more into it and study up and really know the history of it, because we obviously will present that. Not that so many people know about this. It's
And
very
I really want to do this. So we got to stay on this guy, and maybe we could have a meeting. I could meet with you, and we could all sit down, have a dinner, or get them burgers again, and actually get plans. Because if we get, and I would say we want to go when it's nicer out. I would say May, somewhere around there where it's nice out, so it's not snowing or anything like that. I don't know what the weather's like there, but it would be cool, and I think we get a lot of people to watch. I think people would be
absolutely.
interested, but
Absolutely. Well, to have everybody that I've already mentioned be
yeah.
totally on board and doing backflips over the chance to do this project, including yourself and me, lets me know that it's going to be good. So
And
it's
if
just
we
something we got to
if
do.
we if we book this outside, if we book this months ahead of time, we could probably get a discount on the flights, because if you book far out, and the hotel, I'll contact the hotel. I'll tell them I'm a big content creator, and maybe they'll give us a discount, Father, because they'll give the place publicity. Honestly, they might, because it will give publicity if I do this. I'll tell them you're going to go out to 800,000 of my followers. Last month, I had 10 million views just on Facebook alone. I had 9 million on Instagram and another 5 million. That's 25 million views I had last month. So, I mean, it would give the place a lot of publicity. So maybe we could get a discount on the place too.
Yeah, so we do a live stream, and people would just know that while we're doing this live stream, it's also all being um, created and filmed to be like a short film
Yes.
documentary afterwards,
Yes.
premiere later. So yeah, it's something that we're going to definitely have to do. We'll start talking about it. It's funny you bring up us meeting. Tell everybody real quick where you um, stand, where you lean on the whole paranormal, supernatural, life after death, ghosts, demons, angels thing. Where do you stand on all that?
I'm going to be honest with you, Father. And I'm going to be totally honest. I'm going to be as honest as I could be on here. Listen, I was born and raised Catholic, okay? But of course, I'm a human being. So God gave me this mind to think outside, and there's times I doubt it, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. There's times I doubt Jesus Christ. There's times I doubt heaven. I think that's human nature. Like I said, born and raised Catholic, but I'm going to be honest with you. When Charlie Kirk was murdered, okay? When Charlie Kirk was murdered, and honestly, I'm starting to get emotional just talking about it right now. I could feel it coming over me right now. Something happened to me. Something happened to me because I pray that I'm doing the right thing. Like I pray every night and I say, God, am I on the right side? Am I doing the right thing? Am I telling people the wrong thing? Please, and I tell them, listen, lead me to where you want me to be. I always say that to God. Am I doing the right thing? If I'm not, lead me to where you want me to be. Okay. And when Charlie Kirk died, I was driving through the desert here. I was at Lake Mead. I was driving through the desert back into the city from the lake, and tears were in my eyes. And I was listening to music, and I shut the music off, and I looked, and I said, what the F do you want from me? I looked up in the heavens, and I said, what the F do you want from me? And I started physically crying. I started getting like chills all over. I have them right now. And I felt something enter me at that point. Like I felt the Holy Spirit in me. I felt it. And then I went to Charlie Kirk's memorial, and they asked at the memorial, is anybody in the audience? And there was 70, 80,000 people there. And I waited in line 4 hours in 120-degree heat to get in there. And the guy said, does anybody want to accept Jesus? Does anybody want to be saved today? Stand up. And I was born and raised Catholic. I stood up, people prayed over me. I cried. It was one of the most emotional things I've ever been through. And I can tell you this. I know for a fact now Jesus Christ is real. I do. And I'm getting emotional telling you that, Father, because it was so real to me. It really was.
Well, you know where I stand on
Right.
it. I've experienced enough true divine intervention in some of the darkest times in my life that I too know that uh, you know it's all real. Um, when we met, uh, yeah, I have to be careful certain things talking about certain. And real quick, I know there's probably a bunch of people out there wondering, are you hosting the show by yourself now? What happened to Annette? Annette got a severe sore throat, started getting sick yesterday, and asked me, "Can if you really need me, I'll be there, but I'd much rather just try and get better." I just told her, please feel better, get better. I got this. So, but there's other things going on behind the scenes of my life right now that I'm not even going to bring up because then I get emotional. But that's one of them. I'm happen to be working on my computer that night, and I went online for something to research something, and it had just happened. His assassination had just happened. So for a brief moment, until they took it down, they as soon as you clicked on it, you saw the film, the actual footage of him getting shot. And at that moment when I saw it, I had so wished I hadn't seen it because I'm a big boy, but there's some things that you can't unsee. And my wife too felt very emotional about it when she got home from work. She heard about it at work, and she's a Lutheran. She's a minister in the Lutheran church. So I told her, well, don't I'm do what you want, honey. You're a big girl, but I would advise you not to go online. I think the film was still up at the time. I said, don't go on and look at it because you're going to wish you hadn't. And you know what? She trusted me and believed me, and she didn't go on to see it. And then it was taken down shortly after that. But yeah, I'm with you 100%. And it doesn't matter who it was. It could have been anybody. Um, it's just we're in such a dark time right now that something's
Father,
got. Go ahead.
I
I'm
can
sorry.
tell you, that's right. I can tell you this. I never felt anything like that. I didn't know Charlie Kirk. Okay. I didn't know him, but I felt like I lost a member of my family. That I was depressed for weeks over this. I was, and then I went and I spent a week at Turning Point and filmed there and interviewed people there. I spent a week in Phoenix, Arizona just to film this. Then I went to the memorial. When I went into that memorial, Brandon Lake was singing. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
No.
Oh my God, the gospel songs he sings about praising Jesus, and there was such electricity in there. And I can tell you this: Charlie died a young man, but he brought so many people to Jesus Christ by
Yep.
dying. It's, and I'm sorry I'm getting emotional, but it was
No.
something that I have no idea why, but I can still feel it in my spirit right now for some reason. And
Well,
that's when I went back to politics. I never did politics on my content creation. I did true crime. And that's when I felt it was time for me to start speaking out on politics too. And we're not going to talk about politics here, but that's the reason why. Charlie Kirk made me feel I got to start speaking on it too.
that's okay, brother. You asked God to send the Holy Spirit into you and guide you, and that's where He's guiding you, and that's the way that you're preaching to the choir here. I do. I mean, here I am, 66 years old, an ordained Catholic priest, an abbot for a Benedictine community. And for all of you out there that, if you do you got God, and if you don't got God, um, look at the United States Old Catholic Church. We accept everybody, regardless of denomination, and we don't judge or your lifestyle as long as you're not a pervert. Look into the United States Old Catholic Church. You're welcome to join. We have a wonderful private Facebook church group page, United States Old Catholic Church dash clergy and parishioners. Everyone's welcome to join and be as active or non-active as you want to be on the page. Um, if you got God, but you feel a calling to have a closer relationship with God, reach out to the abbot of the Old Catholic Benedictines of Immaculate Mary. That would be me. And we can talk about this calling. Perhaps the Benedictines are in your future. So if you are feeling Danny and feeling his words, and uh, you want to pursue that, continue to follow Danny and get into his show and listen to what he's got to say, and find God, because I believe that that's the only way we're going to come out of this darkness. Is for everybody out there that is lost, that doesn't have a relationship with God. Now's the time, and we'll come out of this. And I'm not saying it's end of times, and I'm not saying Jesus is coming tomorrow, because Jesus is in each and every one of us, whether you believe in him or not. He's in each and every one of us, and he's going to show up one of these days. And if you're not good with him, you're going to really, 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 really regret it. So that's
And
all I have to say. But
Father, if I could just say one other thing on that, since I did that, I've been speaking about Jesus more on my videos and this and that. I had a follower send me a Bible. So one of my followers sent me the Bible. I started reading it. And I could tell you this. Since I started speaking out about Jesus Christ, I got a lot of hate, Father.
oh
I
yeah,
got a
me too.
lot of hate. People think I'm crazy. I'm nuts. Some of my family thinks I'm crazy. Like they say to me, "What happened to you?" What happened to me? Nothing happened to me. Why? Because I'm praying, because I believe Jesus Christ is going to save me. So if there's something wrong with me, I'm crazy. I mean, honestly, Father, it bothers me more when I get hate about speaking about Jesus more than anything I speak about, because they honestly believe I'm crazy now. My family members think I went nuts because of this Charlie Kirk incident, and now I'm praising Jesus Christ. They all think I'm crazy. They do.
All you can, yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, brother. All you got to do, you'll be surprised. Just continue to pray for strength, because through your strength and through the way you react, um, is what you want them to see. And I don't get into drama, no matter how many wackos come at me, and I get wackos coming at me all the time. You know what? I probably pray for all the wackos that come at me more and harder than I even pray for myself or people close to me that really need prayer. I pray for the wackos. I pray for our enemies, because those are the people that really need prayer. And I think I'm one of those. Rather, you're not going to ever catch me on the street corner standing on a box with a sign that says "Repent, the end is near," and hitting people
Me
with the
neither.
Bible. That's not my
Right,
style,
me
but
neither.
I like to.
Right.
I like to let people just see the way I'm living my life, and wondering. I have just a simple fact. I mean, I went 20 years. I was baptized Catholic too. Went through Catholic school all the way up through third grade. Um, Confirmed, the whole 9 yards. And many people, not only did many close friends kind of distance themselves when I full on went into the seminary and became an ordained priest, but many more got that even latched on that much closer, because knowing my background and the 20 years I spent as a raging alcoholic and drug addict, to just one day, and I'm telling you, I had the same talk with God that you had recently after Charlie Kirk died. I had the same talk with God that, I believe in you, and I believe in you, God. And I'm going to try not to get emotional. I said, but if you are real, and I know you are real, God, but I want to wake up tomorrow and I never want to touch another drink or take any more drugs again. And true story, that's the way it happened. I woke up the next day, and it was years later. And one day I just happened to have a conversation about it with my wife over dinner. And I go, honey, can you remember the last time I did any drugs or had a drink? And she knew. She goes, it's been years. She didn't know that I had that talk with God, but that was my ultimate AAA meeting from the other world, other side, that changed my life too. And I've had many people latch on to me, like they don't want to know the details, but they're like, if this guy could do it, there's got to be something to it, and I'm going to check it out. And so I brought lots of people back to God that either once had relationship with God and something happened in their life and they got away from it, or never had a relationship with God and it brought them into the fold. And that's just by me living the life the way I live it, my life the way I live it. And I don't judge. I don't fire back at people. Fire at me all you want. I'm just going to pray for you and tell you how much I love you. Um, and just try to be the best version of myself I can every single day and treat people the way I want to be treated and spread the love, man, because you're only going to come out of this loving one another, and that's the bottom line. Whether
And
you
you know
accept
what?
Jesus as your savior or not, we got to love each other.
And you know what? I'm going to back you on this one too. Here, the thing is, there's sometimes I think to myself, I'm not a good person. You know, I do sin, I do curse, I do
And
stuff
that's
that
the
I
devil.
shouldn't.
That's the
And you
devil.
know, and I know that. And I think to myself, could I really preach God's word? Could I tell people when I'm a sinner myself? But I think to myself, God hung around with sinners when he was here. The apostles weren't all that great. Peter was rough around the edges. You know what I mean? And I think to myself, God accepts us. We're all sinners, Father. Every one of us are sinners, but we got to get back on track after we sin. That's how I feel. We're all
Well,
sinners.
um, what I will mention before we run out of time and I got to kick you out of here.
That's all right.
It's funny.
I'll come back anytime you need me.
One of my loyal listeners reached out to me on YouTube and said, quit telling your guests at the end of the show you got to kick them out of there. That's rude." I laughed, and it is rude, but I don't know what else to say, because I don't want the network to cut us off, and I don't have a moment to say goodbye to everybody. But
I got you.
um, you're one of the few people that aren't scared to meet me and be with me. I mean, we had the two CBS dudes that introduced us. They were trying to get a project together involving me, and they went to this uh, a talent agent here in town who we won't mention. And when they were
Right.
in her office trying to pitch this idea, paranormal activity started happening in her office, which had never happened before, which freaked her out. And I think that's the reason why she didn't want to pursue the project. The two CBS dudes, I still talk with them, but they're also very cautious about coming and hanging out with me and talking about projects because they have had some of the weirdest paranormal activity happen to him, sometimes right when they're in my presence talking with me, or shortly thereafter. And when we all first met that night, they did have issues afterwards, but you too had a positive issue happen to you. And in the next couple of minutes I have left before I have to say goodbye, tell people what happened to you after we met.
I know we have a minute and a half here, so I'm going to make it very quick. Uh, the news guys that we met with Father here, they warned me about him. They said they had paranormal activity every time they met with him. They said they were scared to meet with him. They warned me about him. So when I met with Father, he gave me some medals and he blessed me and he blessed the medals. And I believe you had holy water. I'm trying to think you might have had holy water. I think you did. But
And
on my
oil,
way home,
I anointed
oh, that's
everybody.
right.
And
That's right. You
we're
had oil.
we're in a restaurant, and people are looking at us because I am doing an exorcism over our table and getting everybody ready for our meeting.
So
That
where
was a
I live, so where I live from where we had dinner, it was probably a half-hour ride because our city's kind of big. To go across our whole city is going to take you 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes. So it took me a half hour to get home. 10 minutes into my ride home, I was actually talking to somebody on the phone. And I'm like, I smell flowers. My whole car smells like flowers, like I'm in a floral place. I swear to God, like I'm smelling roses, daisies, sunflowers, everything. They were all in my car, and I didn't understand this. So I didn't have, I think it was a paranormal, but there was a good spirit in my car, if I want to say that, Father.
Well, there you go, and that's because of you're a good spirit, you're a good soul, and that's why. And you took that with you, and I believe you had mentioned, we don't have to go down that road, but you had mentioned having recently lost a loved one, a family
Yeah.
member, and I believe that that was that person visiting you, saying, "I'm hanging out, and this is a great opportunity for me to let you know that we're with you." So that was
All
very
right.
cool. I know what we didn't get a chance to talk to you about, which we will include on
The
part
next
two
time.
with Danny Miner, hauntings of hauntings of Washington, and we will have lots more to talk about than just Trump releasing the UFO files. By the time you come back, we'll know where that
What he
led,
released.
and we'll talk about all of that when you come back.
All right. Thanks for having me, Father. We'll talk to you, everybody. See ya.
Brother, I love you. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. See you later.
Take care. Danny Miner, the Miner Details, the Danny Miner Project podcast. Follow him, check him out. Super cool dude. Next week's guest. This is a fan favorite. Once a month. The last. Oh, and send your positive thoughts and healing prayers to Annette to get better soon. And most definitely, please keep the prayers coming for my wife Sharon. She's telling you guys going through a really tough time. So please do that. Susan Ahern next Friday, February 27th. Happy Medium Monthly. I'm sure Annette will be back. Susan will be here giving free live on air psychic readings. So if you've ever wanted to have a psychic reading, that's your show that you want to tune into. You just tune in live to one of the live feeds, get access to the chat room, type your question in for Susan. Annette will read it or Susan will read it, and you'll get your free quickie live on air reading. And then plus we have also a lot of good para chat during that show too. So that's next Friday, February 27th. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is a heartfelt thank you, guys, because I know I don't have a show without each and every one of you. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to United Public Radio Network for carrying my show, Joe Montaldo and Michelle DeRoche for all your help. God bless the two of you. And I don't know what else to say to you guys other than stay tuned for Carrie Lynn Shellhorn, Spirit Switchboard that's coming up next. We're just getting started on High Strangeness Fridays here on United Public Radio Network. If you want to be a sponsor of the show, reach out to me. I could use a sponsor right now. So reach out to me and we'll make that happen. I'll give your your brand a shout out live on air during the shows. We may have done what the devil said we did, but we are not who the devil says we are. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, Dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Peace.